Right, right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before we start, we give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, through His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the word calls Jesus Christ. Coming back. Hopefully with the edifying, word, man. That that the Lord is bringing plagues upon this world. Which He made. You know, but first and foremost, before we start, man, let's get a precept real quick. Let's get Matthew, the 13th chapter. Let's get verse number 17. Right? So our forefathers dreamt about times like this. Let me get this real quick. Matthew 13 and 17. Right? It says, Matthew 13 and 17, it says, "For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them," man. Because thousands of years ago, our forefathers dreamt about times that we're in today. We got examples like Moses. Let me get that real quick. Let me get that with Moses real quick, because Moses knew the times. The Lord showed him. Right? Let's start at verse number 1. Zoom up the screen. It says, 2nd Ezra 14 and 1, it says, "And it came to pass upon the third day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against me, and said, Esdras, Esdras. And I said, Here am I, Lord. And I stood upon my feet. Then said he unto me, In the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talk with him when my people served in Egypt." So thousands of years ago, the Lord's people was serving in Egypt. Modern day 2025, the Lord's people is in Egypt, which is Babylon the Great, which is aka America today. And the Lord sent Moses to save his people. The exact same way how the Most High is going to send his son to come get his people again. I'm gonna get that real quick. That's Jeremiah 23. Let's keep going. "And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt." See, not everybody is the Lord's people. The Israelites are the Lord's people. "And brought him up," it says, "and brought him up to the mount of where I held him by me a long season." Because we know that Moses went up there twice, 40 days and 40 nights. "And told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times and the end." So Moses knew the times and the end. "And commanded him, saying, These words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide." So there were some things that Moses had to hide. There were some things that Moses had to keep to himself. But the main point is, Moses knew the times. Moses seen the end times. He seen the times that we living in today. Another example, let's get King Solomon. King Solomon knew the times. King Solomon knew the times that we were living in too. Like I said, if you know about Solomon, if you don't know, may the Lord reveal that understanding to you on the right timing. Let's get Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. Let's get what Solomon said. So this is what Solomon, when he was going into wisdom, man. Let's get this real quick. Yeah, right here. It says, I'm gonna start at verse number 15. It says, "The Most High have granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given me, because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom." So the Most High is the one that leads to wisdom, man. It says, "And directeth the wise. For in his hand are both we and our words, all wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship." It says, "For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made, and the operation of the elements, the beginning, ending, and midst of the time." Solomon knew the beginning, how the world was made. He's seen the end times, how we're living today. In the midst of the times, what? Different captivities. Seeing our people hurting, seeing our people going through the things that we do now. How do you think Solomon was able to say in 1 Kings, the 8th chapter, that literally, if they get carried away prisoner to another land, how does he know that? Because what? The Most High gave him that understanding. Because why? Solomon said he knew the beginning, ending and midst of the times, the alterations of the turning of the sun and change of the seasons, man. You know, so Solomon knew the times that we lived in, man. So our forefathers, like it says, let's go back to the king's words. It says, "For verily I say unto you that many prophets in what the so-called Old Testament desire to see the things that we do now, man." You got to think about it. These men dreamed thousands of years ago the things that we seeing today. The little warplanes going across, nations rising against nation. Someone wanted to see the Messiah when he came on the scene, you know, because all they did was read about it. Okay, the Messiah is going to come, but when is he going to come? You know, and righteous men like who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let's get that real quick in Hebrews. Let's get that in Hebrews real quick. That's Hebrews 11, man. Our forefathers dreamt about times like this, man. Let me get that real quick. Let me see where it is. Let me see. Where is it at out of here? Let's see. Yeah, right here. This is on Hebrews 11 and 13. It says, "These all died in faith." Faith is what? Let's start at verse number 1 and jump back down. So this is a long list of our forefathers and the things that they had to go through, man. You know, it says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." The things hoped for because they heard that, hey, I'm gonna have descendants innumerable, but they didn't get to see that. We got to think about this. When our father Jacob and our forefathers went to Egypt the first time, they heard that we were going to be innumerable, but they didn't get to see that. Abraham knew that he was going to be the father of nations, but what? His faith. He didn't get to see it, but he believed the Most High in his words. Isaac and the promise to him. We got to think about this. Even our foremother, Sarah, think about her. She was going to be a mother of nations, man. These people had to have faith, man. These people had to have faith. We got to have the same thing these days, man. Let's go back down. It says, "These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth," man. Right? So all these people, man, they seen the visions, they seen the things that the Most High promised them, but they didn't get to, get to see it or live to see it, man. So it's a blessing, man, to see these times, man. And we're just like our forefathers, man. We know what? The beginning, the middle, and the end, and we pray, Lord's will, that we be found blameless on that day, man. It says, "Have desired to see those things which ye see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear and have not heard them." What? Let's keep going. Matter of fact, was it the previous verse or was it? Let me go back. I think it's probably the previous verse. Yeah, right here. It says, "But blessed are your eyes, brothers and sisters, whoever may be watching. Blessed are your eyes." The Lord allowed you to click on this video. Blessed are your eyes, for they see. Because what? This is not a carnal aspect. This is a spiritual walk. And your ears, for they hear. Because it's the spirit, man. It's the spirit thing. It's not about a carnal aspect of the things that you see, man. Blessed are your eyes, and blessed are your eyes, for they see. And also we see the times that we living in, man. We see Matthew 24 coming to pass. We see 2nd Ezra 15:16 coming to pass. We see everything that the prophets wrote are coming to pass, man. And your ears, for they hear. Because not everybody has an ear to hear, man. Like it says, we've been bringing this out for a long time when we go to camp. The Lord really has put a spirit of sleep on a lot of people. Let me get that at Isaiah, if I'm not mistaken. The 29th chapter. I think it's Isaiah 29, if I'm not mistaken, the 10th chapter, man. Let's get that real quick. Yup, right here. It says, "For the Lord have poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep." See, a lot of people, the Lord got what? In deep sleep. Let me highlight that real quick. The Lord got a lot of people in deep sleep. Okay, why is it not dragging across? Okay, we're just gonna leave right there. The Lord got a lot of people in deep sleep. Shalom to the brothers in the chat, man. Y'all about shimmy out shop rock thought. And let's prove that statement about the Lord got a lot of people in deep sleep. Let's go to Zephaniah real quick. Let's go to Zephaniah. Let's go to Zephaniah real quick. Let me go on my Bible, and look real quick, because we got to understand the Lord got a lot of people in deep sleep. A lot of people are trusting in their money. A lot of people are relying on the government. This economy is falling every single day. And you got to think about it. These people that put their hope and trust in a government, in a society that's falling, it's going to be left out there. But for you brothers and sisters that's watching and paying attention, you're going to be good. You know why? Because the Most High said that he's going to protect his people that truly trust and call upon him, man. In truth, Let me get this real quick. Yep. Let's start at verse number 14. Zoom it up real quick. It says, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. That's why you see the times is speeding up. Let's get that quick precept. Let's go to Matthew 24. I wonder, does anybody else feel like, dang, it just felt like it was last Sabbath, Man, times is speeding up. And that's because the elect, man. Shout out to the elect and the large multitude of Israelites, man. They waking up every single day. Chiefly starting out with the elect, man. Shout out to them brothers, man. They enduring through the spirit, Lord willing, man. Let's get that real quick. Oh, I think it's verse 21, if I'm not mistaken. Is it 21? Yep, right here. Let's get this real quick. It says, Matthew 24 and 21, for then shall be great tribulation. The Messiah said there's going to be great tribulation. He didn't say it's possible. He didn't say it might happen. He said, shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be, man. Like we brought out last night, man, in 2nd Ezra 14, there's greater evils coming than what we're seeing now. That's why we shouldn't get faint-hearted now, because why? There's greater evils that's coming after. We just pulled up on the class last night in real-time prophecy how the deer had bulls all over his body. The rabbit had bulls coming out of his face and body. That's great evil, but what? There's greater evil coming after that, man. We got a lot of things that we got to put our minds to, man. It says, and except those days should be shortened. That's why it feels like it was just last week and it's already a new week. It just felt like, literally, it just felt like it was just May. Now it's what? What's today's date? August 22nd. The times are speeding up. For who? There should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. That's why, guess what? When you seeing all this going on, man, it's going on for the elect, man. The elect of Israel, the man that's going to be ruling with Christ in the next kingdom, man. Let's get that in Wisdom of Solomon, just to prove that the Lord loves his elect. The Lord loves the elect. The Lord is waiting patiently for the men to wake up. And also that large multitude of Israelites, man. Men, women, and children that wholeheartedly believe, man. This is Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 9. It says, they that put their trust in him shall understand the truth. For you brothers and sisters, man, that truly trust in the Lord, you're going to understand the truth. And such as be faithful. Look, there go that key word. What's the key word of faithful? Faith. What is faith? The things not seen, the things that you hope for, man. Faith. This is about faith. We got to understand this is about faith. You got to have faith in these last days. Gotta trust in the Most High. We're serving the same God that Abraham did. We're dealing with the same God Isaac and Jacob did. We're dealing with the same God our forefathers prayed to, man. And it says the Most High doesn't change. In love. See, we gotta love. We gotta have love in us, man. Shall abide with him. Look, for grace, let me highlight that. For grace and mercy. We all need grace and mercy. Every single last one of us. That's in Daniel. It said all Israel has sinned. That's in Romans 2. Romans says the same thing, that we all messed up, man. I messed up in my life. I'm not a happy person about the choices I made in my life. But I know since I'm a new creature in Hamashiach that I get another chance, man, through his blood. It says, for grace and mercy is to what? His saints. Who is his saints? Let's get that real quick. Let's open up another tab. We got too many tabs. We got too many tabs. Who is the Lord's saints? Let's get that real quick. Let's get Psalms 148 real quick. Who is the Lord's saints? Who is the Lord's saints? Let's go down real quick. It says, Psalms 148, verse 14, he also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel. Let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon, precept upon precept. For grace and mercy is to his saints. Who? The children of Israel, a people near to him. That's what you got to understand, that you are a people that's near unto the Lord, man. Praise ye the Lord, like it says. All right, let's close this out. It says, for grace and mercy is to his saints, to his people. And what? And he have care for his elect. That's who the Lord's been waiting on, man. The Lord's waiting on the elect, man. The Lord loves the elect, man. He's waiting patiently on them, man. Whoever that may be, you know. Now let's go back to it. Dang, that close it out. Oh, right here. Okay. So now let's go back to Zephaniah, man. Because the Lord, like it says, he got a lot of people in the spirit of sleep. You know, Lord willing, our people repent, man, for it's too late. It says the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasted greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. The Lord's going to have a lot of people like who? Donald Trump, the elites that's underground. Elon Musk. You got all these different type of men that's ruling this world. It's going to mourn real soon, man. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble. They go that trouble word again. And distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, man. The day of the Lord is going to be a scary day, man. Like it says in Peter that the righteous are scarcely going to be saved, man. That's why we got to be on our high horses today. Repenting every day, man. A day of trumpet, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities, against the high towers. It says, I will bring distress upon men that they shall walk like blind men. See, we don't want to be walking blind in these last days. You just waking up and just living your best life, man. You know, YOLO. Because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, man, and their flesh as the dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them. Like we say all the time. In Ecclesiastes, it says money is the a defense, but only wisdom can save your life, man. You know, a lot of people are putting their trust in their money, their bank account, this government, and it can collapse any moment, man. But I'm not telling nobody, hey, not to have it. You need it to survive, of course, you know, but don't put your trust in them. It says in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of the jealousy, man, the nuclear bombs, man. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land, man. Let's go back to Second Ezra, man. So now let's go to Second Ezra. Should I start at verse 6? Should I start at chapter 16 or trying to think? It's both Second Ezra and 15, man. A lot of prophecy in there. Let me see. Let's start at let's start at 16. Then we'll jump back to 15. All right, let's start. It says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world, man. This is the point. And behold, the plagues are sent. I just seen something on TikTok. It was a sister, man. She was talking about the plague is back, the plague that wiped out villages. She was talking about that. And this is the point. The sister was like, the aliens, they look like us. When are they gonna come save us? And I was watching the TikTok, and I was like, wow, the sister doesn't even know that she's saying things that's prophetic. Them UFOs that got aliens in them are actually angels, and the angels are black according to the Bible, you know, and they're gonna come gather together the elect and the large multitude of Israel, man, you know. So I wish I could pull that video up, but I can't, you know, unfortunately. It says, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The Lord is sending plagues every day. Every day he's sending plagues, man. Like I said, I was at work and I seen the dude crack open the egg and like blood came out of it. I looked at it like, wow, this is what the Lord is saying, man. But a lot of people try to shake that off and be like, oh, it's a bad egg. No, these are plagues. The plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. I like this part, verse 16. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward. The Lord just gave you a comparison. Somebody that's very skilled at war in ancient times, they used to shoot their bows, you know, and that arrow is not going to fly backwards. The same way how the Most High is sending plagues upon the earth every single day. Even so, the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again, man. This is the point. Look at Ezra. This is what he said. He's saying this thousands of years ago and did not get to see it, man. Woe is me. Woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? Ezra is seeing the times that we living in. It's like, wow, Ezra is scared. He's seeing what? Death, famine, pestilence, wars. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. We haven't seen nothing just yet. All these things that we're seeing now, this is just the beginning. Ezra just said it. The beginning of sorrow. This is just the beginning of what we're seeing. That's why we got to be strong in this thing, man. You know, we gotta endure, man. It says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning. There we go. There go that word again. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? We got to call upon the Lord, man. We got to truly trust in the Lord, man. It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation. There go that word tribulation again. And anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, man. You know, it's so sad that some of our people, man, ain't gonna turn from their wickedness. You know, when that grace and mercy is open, man, you know, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, man. You know, victuals gonna be so good and cheap upon earth, man. People gonna start getting comfortable, man. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, man. What is famine? Starving to death. A lot of people's gonna be what? Starving to death when there's no food. But for you brothers and sisters, like we say all the time, you're gonna be good, man, because that's in Isaiah. He said, I'm gonna feed my people. I'm gonna give my people something to drink. My people don't have to worry, man. The ones that trust in me, man. And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. What is the sword? The gun, the bomb, tank, whatever you can think of, man. It says, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall no man to comfort them, man. So you're gonna start seeing people just like this, just laying in the ground, man. Let me get that. me get The Walking Dead. Give you an example. Give the example real quick. Let's get an example real quick. Just had a picture too. Dang, what's that thing? Got what that show is called. Well, just imagine just bodies, because the proper way to bury somebody is what? Going out to the cemetery, digging the hole, laying your loved one there, and putting the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Your last wish, not the last wish, your last goodbyes, man. Think about this. People are gonna be laying in the street, dead, bodies just laying everywhere, man. Let's read it again. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down, man. Let's get 2nd Ezra 15 now. Read a little bit of that, and then we'll close out, man. Don't want to take too much time on here. All praise to the Most High. Oh, I accidentally clicked the wrong book. Shout out to the our forefather Tobit. Got some great things. He talked about the kingdom in there too. Let's get that real quick. 2nd Ezra 15, verse number 14. 2nd Ezra 15 to 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." It didn't say just to the Israelites. It says, "Woe to the world." The whole world is about to experience something like never before. The Most High hand is in this thing, man. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. That's race wars. Race wars is going to come back, man. The Lord already gave us a taste about that, man. And like when we seen the 30s, 40s, 50s, Also, what? You got people of other nations rising against other nations, man. Let's keep going. And swords in their hands, man. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. They're not going to care about Donald Trump real soon. They're already storming the White House, man. They're not going to regard Putin, the Chinese man leader over there, North Korean, South Korean leader. What's that man name? Jim Kong. Ooh. They're not gonna care about him real soon. They're not gonna care. They're not gonna care about these people. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power, man. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." Real soon, martial law. That's coming real soon. A man shall not be able. A man shall. Let me read that again. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Let me get that at 2nd Ezra real quick. Let me get that real quick. Let me see what that is. A man's going to desire to see another man. The 2nd Ezra 16, verse number 27. It says, "So that one man shall desire to see another." It's going to be a point in time. You're not going to be able to call that brother no more. You're not going to be able to contact sis no more. It's going to come a point in time where you might just be out there by yourself. You're going to have to truly depend on the Most High, man. That's why we're studying the precepts and applying them. We're not studying the precepts to cut nobody or to offend nobody. We're studying these things every day to apply to our day-to-day lives, man. It says, "So that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice." Dang, I wish I could talk to Op. Man, I don't even know if sis alive or not. These are the things that people are going to start thinking, man. You know? That's why we should already get this on our mind, man. We got to truly trust in the Most High, man, these last days. It says, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. Look at this. What did this say? A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, man. And it's talking about right here that what? So that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice, man. It's gonna be that much death, and that's a lot of death. That if somebody's gonna desire to hear somebody else and to see that brother, dang, man, that's something to think about. Let's keep going. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. We just read that in Zephaniah, man. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, your neighbor that you live next to, man. He's gonna try to come destroy you, unalive you for what? But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of what? The lack of bread and for great tribulation. The Messiah spoke on this. He said there's going to be great tribulation. The woman that stay next to you, the man that stay next to you, one day they're going to have to feed their kids. They're going to try to destroy your house with the sword, man. But you still what? Got to move in wisdom, man. You got to move with wisdom. You can't kill a man without a cause, man. You can't just go out there acting crazy in the last days, man. I mean, in the end times. Because the Most High will is that judgment, man. Because that's one thing he hates is the shed of innocent blood. You can't kill a man without a cause. Let's keep going. It says, behold, said the Most High. Not it on that. Let's jump down real quick. Let's go back to 16 and let's jump down, man. Let's go to 16, jump all the way down to the end of the chapter, man, because we got to understand also at the same time that the Most High already been warned us, man. He been warned us. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 16, jump all the way down, man. Matter of fact, let me start at verse number 38 or 39, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, verse 40. It says, oh, my people. Not everybody's the Lord's people. Oh, my people, the Israelites, hear my word, make you ready to the battle. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Didn't our fathers, like it said in Hebrews 11, said that they were strangers and pilgrims upon the earth? Is that same way how we're going to be? Let's jump down. Let's see. Let's start up at verse number. Let's start at verse 69. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be in derision and a reproach and trodden underfoot. For there shall be in every city, every place, and in the next cities, a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, man. Jacob's trouble is coming, man. It says they shall be like mad men, sparing none. They ain't gonna care who you are. They ain't gonna care about none of that. They're gonna be killing the Israelites, man. But still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord, man. But never get faint-hearted, man. Let me get that real quick in Psalms, where it says, the Lord has pleasure in the death of his saints. What is that? The Lord. Psalms. Let me get that real quick. Let's get that real quick. Let's try Psalms. Let's get that real quick, man. All right, King. It says Psalms 116, verse 15. It says, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. It's a precious thing to die for the Lord. That's the most honorable thing that you can do, man, for the Lord, man. It's, you know what I'm saying? Well, let's get that real quick with how Shah said. No greater thing, man. No greater thing for a man. This is John 15, verse 13. Beautiful froze on for a moment. It says, John 15:13, Yahweh words, greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends, man. Yahweh laid his life down for us willingly. He said, no man taketh my soul. He willingly laid it down. You know, let's get that real quick. He willingly laid, no man. Let me get that real quick. Yeah, right here. No man taketh my life. Yahweh willingly died for his nation. Think about it. He died receiving what? A kingdom, man. He's up there. He's been waiting patiently. Think about it. He's been seeing different forms of the world, man. He's waiting patiently for his kingdom, man. Same way how we got to be. It says, John 10:18, no man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father, man. So the king willingly laid down his life, man. Let's go back to Psalms real quick. Psalm 16, verse 15. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints, man. So when they're doing all these things right here, let's scroll back up. It just went to the next chapter. Come on, man. It just went to the next chapter. Just went to the next chapter. So when they're doing these things right here, like we say all the time, man, don't be scared. That's the worst thing you can ever do is fear, because fear is going to lead to doubt, man. Don't ever be scared, man. David said what? In Psalms 118:6. Oh, let me find this part real quick so I don't lose my train of thought. Yeah, right here. Yep. So David said in Psalms 118:6, he doesn't fear man. David said he doesn't fear man. We got to think about this. These men in the Bible were not no pushovers. These men in the Bible trusted in the Lord. It says, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. So when they're doing this right here, for there shall be in every city and the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none. That's precious in the sight of the Lord. It's the death of his saints, man. So never ever get scared, man, whenever they do it. I don't know when the time of trouble is, nor do I ever will proclaim. But I'm here to give an encouraging word to people that, hey, you can get through it, man. You can endure. You can go through this, man. You got to speak life, man. I can do this. I can do all things through Yahweh Shai. We're never going to ever put a spirit of fear on our people. Hey, get fearful because what's going to happen. No, the Lord already gave us the blueprint. He gave us prophecy. So we already know ahead of time what's going to happen before these people even do it. Let's keep going. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses, man. Then shall they be known who are my chosen. Everybody then is going to know that black people, Hispanic, Native Americans are God's people, man. The Lord's already showing it with Northern Kingdom getting deported, man. And he's already going right to the Southern Kingdom. Because you see Levi, they're getting deported as well. Everybody's seeing who the Lord's chosen is. And they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. That's why it feels like you're getting tried harder and harder every day. Different temptations, different trials, different tests, different tribulation that you're going through. That's what it's saying. The gold, it says they shall be tried as the gold in the fire, man. Satan gonna turn it up a notch, man. Especially as you're growing in the Most High every single day. Satan's going to keep trying harder and harder and harder and harder to make you go off. Because why? It says the devil's like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Satan got an upper hand on a lot of people, man. But most I won that he doesn't have it on us, man. Hear, O ye my beloved, said the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. That's why when we read scriptures like this, man, it gives us a sense of relief, man. The Lord, what? He already said in Revelation. The days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt. Look at that. I got to zoom up on that, man. This is the Most High saying this. Look, he said, what? Be ye not afraid, neither doubt. Why? Because when you start having a carnal mind, when you start thinking with mortal thoughts, like how he told us in 2 Ezra 14 to cast that away, you're going to start what? Being afraid and doubting. But never do that. Why? Because why? The Most High is your guide and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts. For you brothers and sisters that striving for righteousness, man. Every day you're getting up seeking the Most High. You're reading his commandments. You're reading the precepts of our forefathers, the times and the different tests that they went through. We read multiple accounts like Abraham in Genesis when he got told to leave his homeland, man, and trust in the Most High. You had David going through whatever he went through, man. You had the prophets. They suffered great things for the Lord, man. Apostle Paul suffered great things for the Lord, man. Man was stoned, beaten, you know. All these men in the Lord were great men, man. Why? Because they trusted in the Most High. It says, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord God, let not your sins weigh you down. See, when you start letting the old mistakes that you did get to your mind, that's going to start weighing you down. And let not your iniquities lift up themselves. You can't let your sins overcome you, man. Because they'll hold you down, man. It's like spiritual chains on you, man. You're trying to break free, but they still got you, man. Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins and covered with their iniquities, man. Like as a field is covered over with bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns, that no man may travel through. Because when it's a bush with thorns and all that on it, you're not gonna want to walk through that. That's gonna hurt, you know. So that's why we can't let our sins and our iniquities, man, lift up themselves, gain the upper advantage. It is left undressed and is cast into the fire to be consumed therewith, man. You don't want to be that brother or that sister, man. That fire come, man. You know? So Lord willing, man, that was edifying. Of course, all glory and honor to the Most High God, Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Shalom, King Shalom. So, like I say, Lord willing, that was edifying, man. With that, I digress. Give all honor and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Shalom. Stay enduring, stay prayed up, stay faithful, stay always, man, holding on to the Most High, man, these last days, man. Lord willing, that was encouraging, man. And I sign out. Oh, I almost hit the wrong one. I'm hitting the wrong one. In stream. There we go.